Hi guys, this is a recording for sections 1-3 and 1-5. Today is Monday the 14th, 246 B day, and we got canceled because of the smoke. So 1-3 and 1-5 is what I'm going to go over. Today is, what did I just say? Monday, 9/14. And so your homeworks are the online homeworks for 1-3 and 1-5 on Envision, and those will be due Thursday at midnight because we see each other again on Friday. So Thursday 9/17 is when these will be due. So let me head over to 1.3. All right. We can omit this first problem. We are not doing step functions. We are doing what are called piecewise functions. This book calls them piecewise defined functions. Normally, math teachers just call them piecewise. And this is what a piecewise function looks like. It is a bunch of different functions on one grid, and they're like in little pieces, hence the name piecewise. And this is how they look, how the functions look. So there's the function itself. In this case, they're both lines. So we have to graph the lines. And then there's a second piece of information, and that is the domain over which you draw that line. So we're drawing this equation, but only in between -10 and -2. And I actually wanted to change this one to 2x because it didn't fit on the graph well. I just want it to be able to fit on our space here. So graphing y equals 2x plus 11. This graph happens to go to 10, so I have to go up 1. Oops. At 11, and our slope is +2, 2 over 1. I can't rise, so I'm going to go down 2, and then I would go to the left 1. Down 2 to the left 1 to make a positive slope. Positive slopes, the little man walks uphill all the way. Okay. So now, and I'm not going to draw it in yet because I'm going to think about my domain now. Only in between -10 and -2. So here's -10 and here's -2. That means I'm drawing the blue line in between those two spaces. And now I'm going to look at the inequality symbols. This would be a closed circle on the -10 and an open circle on the -2 because the inequality does not have the equal sign. So I'm going to come back over here and I would have an open circle on the -2, and I'm going to erase that guy, and a closed circle on -10. And now I'm going to draw the line between them, the segment I should say, and I'm going to go back and erase all of my stray marks. So when you're doing these on paper, I recommend using a pencil so that you can erase. So there's the first one, 2x plus 11 in between -10 and -2. Closed circle on -10, open circle on -2. Now let's graph x plus 1. Y-intercept is +1, and we have a slope of +1. And I'm going to go far because I'm looking at the domain now. It is an open circle on +2 and a closed circle on +10. So +2 and +10. Closed circle. Ooh, I hate when it does that. And an open circle on the 2. And now I can, that was a horrible line. A little bit better. And again, I'm going to erase all my stray marks. They're not part of our final answer here. There we go. And we're done. We are done. On the next page, there's a couple more to practice. I would like to do letter B here for one more. And to remind you that y equals, or f of x equals 3, that is a horizontal line going through 3. But again, we have to follow the domain. It's in between -4 and 0. Open circle on the left, closed circle on the 0. So -1, 2, 3, 4, up at 3. Open circle there. And a closed circle through 0. So there's that segment. Next line says -x. There's not a y-intercept. So our y-intercept is 0. And this time we have a -1 slope. So it's going down and to the right. And this one is in between 0 and 2 with closed circles. So there's 0, there's 2, and in between. There we go, erasing my stray marks. And the final one, you might see it better if I put it in mx plus b. That would be a -x plus 3. Y-intercept is +3. And again, our slope is -1. So this is parallel to the little blue one. And our domain is from 2 to 4 with open circles. +2, +4 with open circles. Open, open, draw the line between them, erase all of my stray marks, and there we go. So I would encourage you now to pause the video and do letter A on your own, and then you can then play the video again to see if you did it correctly. So I'm going to do it right now. I would encourage you to pause so you can do it on your own in order to practice. 2x plus 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 is my y-intercept. A slope of 2 is up 2 to the right 1, or down 2 to the left 1. And it's in between -6 and -2, so I'm going to keep going a little bit. -2, 4, and -6. And we have a closed circle on each. There we go. And the next one, -x minus 4, -4 y-intercept, and a slope of -1. And I'm not going to go more to the left because I'm looking at the domain goes from 1 to 3. So +1 to +3. We've got another little short little piece. Also closed circles in between, and there's that guy. This is a piecewise function, graphing pieces of functions on the same grid. Next, we have to look now at something that's already been graphed, and we have to write the equation for it. So it's going to be f of x equals, and there's going to be 3, because I see 1, 2, 3 functions there. Erase, erase. And so let's start with the blue one. I can see the y-intercept, and notice this graph is going by 2s, 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8. So the y-intercept is a -4, and now I've got to figure out the slope. So I can see a point here, it's rising 4, oh sorry, my bad, it's not rising 4. It's rising 2, 4, 6, and running 2. 6, rise over run, 6 over 2. 6 over 2 is 3, and it's positive slope. Little man's walking uphill. So our slope, or our equation rather, is 3x minus 4. And now I need to write the domain for it. I'm going to erase all my scribbles here. The domain for this guy, remember, is the x values. It's in between -2 and +1. -2 is less than or equal, because it's got the closed circle. X is less than 1, because the open circle on the 1. And so that's the blue one. Now let's take a look at the red one. I'm looking at the slope. 1, 2, 3, 4, rising 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and running 4. 4 over 4 is 1, so our slope is 1. 1x, or just x for the equation. And this segment is not crossing the y-intercept, so I have to do that myself. So if I go down 1 and over 1, there's where it would be crossing to get the y-intercept for it, and that is through +3. So our equation is y equals x plus 3. 1x plus 3, or just x plus 3. And the domain for this one is in between 1 and 5 with closed circles. -1 is less than or equal to x, is less than or equal to 5. And then we have a green one. Again, I'm erasing all of my scribbles. The green one is horizontal line crossing through 8. So its equation is f of x equals 8. And it is in between, for its domain, it's in between 5 and 8, and it looks like closed circles. -5 is less than or equal to x, is less than or equal to 8. Again, I would like you to pause and try one of these on your own, or try I'll just pick one of them. Try letter B on your own, and then come back when you're done so you can check your answers. I'll do this one on the left first. It has a slope of 1 over 1. So if I extend it, its y-intercept would be 0. F of x equals, so this is a negative slope, -1 slope, -x, and the y-intercept is +0. I could put +0 or just leave it off. And the domain is in between -3 with a closed circle and -2 with an open circle. So -3 is less than or equal to x, is less than -2. And now this horizontal one in the middle, it is crossing through 1, y equals 1. And it's in between -2 and +1. -2 is less than or equal to x, because a closed circle, is less than +1 with an open circle. And now the last one, we've got to, I'm going to pause. Somebody's knocking on my door. Oh, doesn't look like I'm able to pause. Somebody's knocking. I wonder if I can